you want to get in, but the number one point I will say is this. This is the one thing I think we will not argue about, because we can argue about whether or not Buffalo should have lost the game. We can argue about the immense amount of turnovers from Josh Allen, whose fault it was, and we can certainly argue about whether or not it was an interception or a catch. But one thing I don't think can be argued about, why after 19 games, or almost 19 games, and 3 hours of incredible, intense football, guys, why Allen on a play that's clearly at least controversial, would the refs really trot up to the line of scrimmage as if there was nothing to look at? Can you please help me understand that part at least? Why is that not a moment? In when you're determining who's going to go to the conference championship game, why would that be a moment when you don't stop and look at it for 5 minutes?
Yeah, I can't explain that. I think, look, they can't. That's one where it didn't feel like in the moment, it didn't feel like it was that questionable until you saw the replay. And so you're right. You would think, let's just take a look. The fact that never happened. But I just got to say this. Anybody that thinks they can stand 10 toes down on business that should have been called a catch, you don't know what you're talking about. That's a play that is I don't think it's easy to say either way. It was an incredible defensive play, and that's what I saw. Now, whether you could use the technicality of knee down, all that stuff, I don't think it's as cut and dried. That might be one of the most difficult plays to say yes or no to. It's got to.
I agree with you.
There is
I
no.
agree with you that the 10
you can't
toes down
be
thing's
firm
impossible.
on anything on this. And hearing some people stomp their feet about this play makes no sense. That was one of those 50-50 type things, and the officials had to make a decision.
Well, Alan, but here's the weird
That's
part.
all I'm saying. I don't think it's as easy as some people are trying to make it out. You're
I agree
biased
with
if you are.
I agree with you, and I admit my bias. I deeply wanted Buffalo to be playing next week. I had no interest with Denver and with Bo Nix, let alone Jarrett Stidham. So I think we've all been ripped off, and that's more personal. I agree with you. You definitely can't go 10 toes down. But Don, this league has to make up their mind on what the call is. Every single week, there was one between the Packers and Bears. There was one yesterday in the nightcap. We're seeing it over and over again. Can we at least get, Don, some level of consistency in officiating this play?
Well, there's always going to be inconsistency in everything. We see it in hockey all the time. That's goaltender interference, a different referee, a different game, a different building. It's not goaltender interference. What's pass interference? What's not pass interference? But to get back to the interception, you're just basically talking about a PR move. Let's grandiosely go out there and take 10 minutes to look at it. Every turnover is looked at. And as much as you don't want to believe it, Allen's right. It's kind of cut and dried in the sense that you can't call it a completion. He didn't survive the ground. If there's no defender there and that ball pops out when he hits the ground, whether it's his knee, whether it's his elbow, whatever, he didn't survive the ground. It's incomplete. Now, there's a defender there, so it never touched the ground. You can't call it incomplete. You can't call it a catch because he didn't survive the ground. The only thing to call it is an interception. Now, you could have taken 10 minutes if you wanted to PR-wise, but once you know the rule, once you know he didn't survive the ground, it has to be an interception. There's nothing else it could be.
The exact same play happened between Green Bay and Chicago. Guess what? In the defender's hand, they called it an incompletion. So,
it was
and
a
then
little
yesterday,
bit different.
So they survived the ground yesterday?
That was not the exact same.
It wasn't the same. He was being driven. His forward progress was stopped. He was moving in a different direction. I hear what you're saying. So surviving the ground is
surviving another man jumping on top of you and
ripping
the ball from your hands?
They came down together, hands on the ball together like that. That was
it was not hands on the ball together.
I don't think we're giving enough credit to the defense. I thought that was an incredible defensive play. Incredible.
Listen.
To pry that out of Cooks is like we're not talking about a guy who's like soft. Cooks is tough, man. To rip that ball out of his hands in that moment, rolling over, that's a sick play.
So if he ripped the ball out of his hands, doesn't that imply that it was in Cook's hands when he hit the ground? Butt on the turf, ball in his hands, then ripped out of his hands?
I thought that was coming out on the way down, no? Like I said, I don't.
This is why they needed to look at it for 3 minutes. Can we get 3 minutes to look at it?
That's what I was going to say. Is that what we're doing here is exactly why it did need to be looked. If there's any criticism, it's they never gave it an opportunity just to take a look. Even if they walked out and said, no, we're going to keep the call as is. Hey, at least you looked at it, right?
Right.
But the fact that they wouldn't even look at it is, that's the part that I'll side with you. But I don't feel like this is that cut and dried that you could say definitely this and definitely that. It's not one of those plays. I don't see it that way.
I think the same thing would have happened. Would people have felt a little better about it? Yeah, possibly. But I don't think it would have just been, hey, well, take 10 minutes. People still would have been upset about it. They looked at it. Every turnover is reviewed. They saw by the letter of the law it didn't survive the ground. That's it. Now, you can get to the pass interference stuff. Should they have called the pass interference? Well, his arm, he had to go with one arm because the other arm was being grabbed. Should he not call pass interference because it affects the game because it's in overtime? I thought the whole thing in sports is what you call in the first quarter should be what you call in overtime. And then the one that wasn't called in the end zone, I'm not sure that ball was catchable. Now, they never said that. They never said the ball was not catchable, but I think people freak out, guys. And certainly I'm no fan of the officials, and I wanted the Bills to win this game. I picked the Bills. I wanted the Bills. It's much more sexier to have the Bills in the championship game, but I can't say they got jobbed by the officials. I can't.
But now,
I hear you.
But now the result of this whole thing, and with Bo Nix's injury, we're in a world where the New England Patriots are going to be. I mean, like they are going to win this game. I mean, can we all agree? I mean, is it consensus? Like it would be.
I can't.
It would take a miracle. A miracle.
It would be a great little feature, though. I'll tell you this: it would be a great feature in the eventual Sean Payton Hall of Fame exhibit. If he were able to somehow coach Jarrett Stidham to a win over the Patriots, even if they don't win the Super Bowl, it would be an incredible moment for the Sean Payton legacy. Because you guys would agree, this only happens if Payton coaches the game of his life. There's no way on paper that the Stidham Broncos should beat this Patriots team.
Well,
so that's the only hope this thing has, but it's such a dud.
Let me ask you this.
Alan, go ahead, Don.
How much better is Nix to Stidham? Well, he's better, no question, but how much better? You're not going from John Elway to a backup quarterback. You're going to a second-year quarterback. It is definitely a step back. But you got one of the best coaches in football. You got one of the best defenses in football. You've got home field advantage against a Patriot team that really had trouble putting away the Texans despite the 5 turnovers. I'm not betting on the Broncos, but I cannot sit here and tell you that they've got no shot. Can't do it.
I like that take. I like that take. Yeah, I don't agree with you, but I like it.
How many games has Stidham played in?
Stidham is a career
4
1
starts.
3.
Yeah.
4 starts.
Yeah, and now he's going to start in the AFC Championship game. Come on.
But
now
you know what I got to tell you.
He does have 8 touchdowns though and 8 interceptions in his career.
Yeah.
So
again, I'm not betting on it. But what's the number? 5?
Yeah, the 4.5, isn't it?
4.5. So Vegas is telling you there's a chance.
Yeah, Vegas is saying it's not an absolute impossibility. That you're absolutely right about that.
I can think of a couple of reasons why the Broncos win the game. They're home. They got a great defense. They've got Sean Payton, and there's a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their
that was unbelievable.
Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-30 2.5S all-wheel drive for $189 for 33 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SM844681. MSRP $29,075. Zero security deposit. Ends 2/2/26.
That was beautifully done, Don. I'm going to push back on what you just said, though, Don. I was agreeing with you, and you were on a roll, and I liked it. But, Alan, 5.5 on the road is still Vegas telling us New England's winning this football game.
Yes,
that's 8.5 neutral site, Don. That is a big number.
And by the way, all of us who are celebrating parity and the newness and new teams coming in to win things.
You could have let me just say it, Alan.
How's that looking right now?
You were right. You were right. The parity I was excited about.
I disagree with this take too.
What's your disagreement here? Because let's see, Rams. Yep. Let's see, Seattle. Yeah, they've been in a lot. New England. Yep, they've been in a lot. It's the same teams. What's that? It's either the Chiefs or the Patriots. in the championship game in the last 15 years.
15 years.
Unreal.
So you're saying even in a year in which we felt like the really great teams weren't there, it's still ultimately a version of the same teams.
It's it's
not Philly or Kansas City.
It's the brands, right? The NFL brands. It's just seems to be the same brands. Always find a way to float to the top at the end of the season. It just happens to be that way. So it's been a little while for the Patriots, of course, but still.
I can't believe we're back here already. Don, can you believe it? When it ended, did you really think there was a chance that we'd be sitting here in 2026 and there'd be an entirely new Patriots team that's likely headed to the Super Bowl? I'll let you think about it.
Let him think about that for a second, because we could crown a champion tonight. You know this, right?
What do you mean?
Well, we have a national championship tonight.
Oh,
and when the trophy is raised, that it could feel like the season's over, of course. But on the ESPN app, it's never really over, because with more than 47,000 live events, plus originals, highlights, coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into. Now, I'm going to be all over that. The Natty tonight, everybody. The Knicks play at 5. I'll get home in time, plenty of time to catch the end of that Indiana-Miami game. Emma, grad student from the U, so you know who we have to be pulling for, right? Just have to. Yeah. If it's okay with Don, we do have blood in the ground there. No off-season, just everything a fan needs to keep going. Always in season. Get all of ESPN all in one place. Download the ESPN app on your TV or phone today. Is it okay for me? Can I root for the U?
Listen, don't do that. Don't do what you just did.
You can't do that?
No, you cannot put a U up, Alan Hahn. That is ridiculous.
Is that wrong?
LIU, you can put up an LIU.
I'll do the LI.
But the LI, you cannot put up.
Don didn't see it. I wanted to send Don off the edge, just to throw it up. Me and Michael Irvin. I don't know. I might be hanging out with Michael Irvin.
Yeah, BTA. I've been seeing the Miami gear though out in the streets of New York. People, the U grads are proud, bro. Like, you kind of forget that a lot of people, from this area and from a lot of metropolitan areas go to the U. But I'll tell you, even today in 30-degree, what feels like 15-degree weather in New York, Alan, I'm seeing the Canes jackets out in these streets. People are amped up. And I was like, oh, my God, college football's still going. No way.
How dialed in are you going to be?
I always throw on the national championship, so it'll end up on in the house. I like it because it goes from about 9 till 2 a.m. So you can kind of come in for a little while and put the baby to bed, have dinner, get on the phone, come back. It's the third quarter. Oh, has Mendoza being a cheese ball? Listen, if it's a good game, I will watch till the end, and if it's trash, I will just turn it off. That's what
is
I'm
it.
What about?
Is it a better story for Mendoza and the Hoosiers to just to finish the season, unblemished? The Heisman winner wins the national championship, right? Cignetti, the next big coach everybody's gonna be talking about, but a school that's only known for basketball suddenly becoming the toast of college football. Is that the better story, or is it the return of the U, the rugged defensive team? Right, the arrogant, not arrogant, but you know what I mean. He's a brash coach as well, Cristobal. Which is the better story for college football?
I think moving forward, the better story is probably the return of the U. Is Indiana turning into a legitimate full-time powerhouse, or is this going to be just like a random year in which this coach and this quarterback came together? I mean, obviously they're a pretty stacked team, so maybe this could last for a while. Mm-hmm. But I sort of feel like overall, from a brand standpoint, a rejuvenated Miami probably does more. Honestly, just a great game. Isn't that always what the best?
Well, you need that. You need that, man.
What we don't need is 46-22 or 50. What you want is a decent football game tonight, because this end of the college football season, as much as I love the playoff, and I really do think it's a huge improvement, and I know I mock college football a lot, but the truth is the college football playoff is such an upgrade from the bowl game system we used to have. The one thing, Alan, that I think that's still making it a little weird is like the way it stretches out towards the end. And you do kind of get caught up in the NFL playoffs. Unless you're a hardcore college football fan, you can easily be like, oh, yeah, this thing's still going on, huh? January 19th.
Yeah, but just think, they're going to expand it even more because it's been successful. This thing, this could go on a little bit longer, but it's been look, it has been fun. I like it. It's also showing you too that you get a 10 seed in the championship game. You wouldn't have had that if you only had the 14. Like that shows you that this time of year it's still important to include more teams so you can see what happens. But no, it'll be fun. It'll be big. I mean, look, without having a number one pick for the Jets, it's not like you're watching Mendoza and wondering, like, is this the guy that could be your franchise-changing quarterback? But I think it's almost a fait accompli now. The Raiders will take him at 1. But, it's still – I'm dialed in because it's a championship game. It's an interesting story. We're always about the stories. But the Buffalo Bills losing, Josh Allen at the podium, and then they didn't wait a day. And the fact that McDermott was canned, it's the corpse is barely cold, and he's out. That had to feel like that's why when we were saying it throughout the playoffs or going into the playoffs, it had to already be on the minds of whether it's Pagula, whether it's Bean. They had to be already thinking like, look, if we don't get it done now, we've got to make a change. It had to have been on their minds how fast they decided to get rid of him.
And I think the way he reacted and the things that he said had to tell you that he knew he was done.
Oh, because the way he was very defending
did
Buffalo.
It for Buffalo.
Yeah,
guys, there's a narrative out there. The good thing the Giants got Harbaugh signed this weekend. Otherwise, he'd go to Buffalo. No, he wouldn't. He was never going to Buffalo.
Nope.
Because you don't think his agent or Harbaugh himself didn't find out, hey, what's McDermott's status if he loses in Denver? And then all he had to do was drag his feet another day or two, and then the job would have opened up, and then they could have used it at leverage during the course of the negotiations. The fact that never happened, he was never going to Buffalo. And were the Bills going to pay him 5 years, $100 million? So stop with this stupid narrative. Oh, Giants lucked out. The Giants didn't luck out. And the fact that his agent called Tennessee, that's being a good agent if things aren't going well in the negotiations for leverage. But he was going to sign the deal. Everybody reported it. Gary Myers, Ian O'Connor all said this eventually is going to get done. So this whole idea that the Giants lucked out, that the Bills let go of McDermott now, not before, stop it. There's zero evidence of that. Zero. It also makes zero sense.
I think we've because it dragged on for so long, it became how can we find it's how we are so typical of this. We all get caught up in it. Is it how can we find the negative? Where can we create like, oh no, they're going to lose them, right? And the stuff that Ian was telling us suggests that this was the job that Harbaugh wanted all along. But when you are an agent and you're trying to get certain things for your client, there's probably some stipulations you wanted, and if you're not getting them, then you start to say, well, you know what? While we're doing this, I'm going to give Tennessee a call real quick. So that stuff's always going to happen. But you know what else, too, is kind of getting swept under the rug that over the last 2 weeks we have learned is Chris Maris really emerged, hasn't he? As a very important piece here. He is no longer like, a guy who's in the family who gets a job in the front office. People have, railed about that and him and Tim and why are they working and why are they there and what's their influence. But I think the last couple of weeks, you trust Ian's reporting, of course, is he has had a very, very big influence in all of this. And this is a huge feather in his cap to kind of ascending into sort of the primary ownership role as obviously John gets older. It says a lot that he's the one that sort of had that quick secret meeting to make sure everything's cool. Like he made sure face to face. No, let's not let agents and stuff do stuff, but let's just stay face to face on this because we want to make sure that we want you and we're going to get this done. And he did that. The personal touch. He really, I think, is emerging. It's something Giants fans should pay close attention to.
Well, and it's good timing when they need some good news on that front with all the lack of clarity about what's going on at the top of the organization. That's a great piece of a great update, I'd say, for Giants fans over this weekend to learn that about Chris if you didn't know previously. Let's take a break, guys. Phone lines are completely jammed. Let's talk to the people. 1-800-919-3776. We're on the air. until 4:30. Then we got Knicks basketball. So we're going to break quick, come back, and talk to you about the Bills, the controversy on the catch or interception, and so much more right here on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead.
Really?
That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second,
You get your stake back in cash.
with BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD scorer wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Show your team spirit and save big only at Security Dodge during the Start Something New sales event. For a limited time, score an extra $500 off on top of all rebates and new incentives, just for coming in and wearing your favorite team's jersey or swag. High school, college, or pro, football, basketball, hockey, and every sport in between. It's easy to win big at Security Dodge in Amityville. Visit us today or shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Out on the course, they're the PGA Tour's best players. But in the arena, they're prime time. And Season 2 of TGL presented by SoFi is back with lights, cameras, action. We're talking big moments, big personalities, big names in the stands, all on the big screen. Big-time matchups with shot clocks, hammer drops, timeouts, overtime, and playoffs. It's city versus city, squad versus squad. The sport just hits different under the lights. It's TGL presented by SoFi. Keep up. It's golf. Tune into every match. Only on ESPN.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings.
Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-50 2.5S Select with all-wheel drive for $179 for 33 months. Or buy with 0.9% APR financing for 72 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SN379853. MSRP $33,425. Zero security deposit. APR $14.27 per month for $1,000 finance. Ends 2/2/26.
And so before we get back into the football convo, I got a couple of pieces of NBA/Knicks news for you guys. Number one.
Oh, boy.
They named the All-Star starters today, and Jalen Brunson again named the starter in the East. The East is all pretty much guards, and then Giannis. It's Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Tyrese Maxey, and Jaylen Brown, and Giannis. And the West is
Anybody want to read my text?
Not right now. Luka, SGA, Steph Curry, Wembanyama, and Jokic, which means LeBron James, for the first time in 21 years, wasn't voted a starter.
Wow.
So there's that. And then last but not least, for today's game, which is in a couple hours, Brunson and Hart will be back in the lineup. So the Knicks will be whole for the first time than I can remember. Because like everybody's in the lineup now. There's no one that we know of on the injured list, which is a good sign.
Well, that's important, right? Because they've lost 7 of 9, but
8
how
of 10.
many times in that span and 3 straight losses have they been whole?
They have not, because again, Shamit's been out forever, and then everybody else, whether it's Hart, whether it's Brunson, whether it's OG for a while, McBride missed time. They've had guys out, but look, they're home now for us the next 10 days, and then after today is earlier start. Wednesday they play the Nets, and then they have 2 days off at home for the first time in over a month. Then they have a game in Philly on Saturday. Then they have 2 more days off, which they'll be back home for.
Look at them.
That's critical practice time, rest time, get shots up time.
Yeah.
This is your get right time if you're the Knicks right now before the All-Star break. So let's see if it comes to fruition. But
good
healthy
segue.
Today. They need a win. This feels like a must-win. I know it's technically not, but it feels like one. So
we need another word for the
it.
not must-win, must-win.
Can't lose?
No.
No.
It's the same as must-win. It's like a should-win, right? It's like
extra urgency kind of game. It feels.
Yeah, like it would be problematic to not win this game, but that doesn't have a ring. And real quick, let's hit some game time. Brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. The Knicks, as Alan just mentioned, host the Mavs with coverage immediately following us here on 880 at 4:30. Rangers, Hockey Ranger, they're an exciting team. Anthony's very into. They visit the Ducks with coverage following Dan Grassa on 880 at 9:30, and coverage of the College Football Championship on 1050 starting at 6:30. A lot of numbers there. The Nets host the Suns at 7:30 like you dream about. And the Devils are in Calgary facing the Flames at 9. Islanders play the Canucks in Vancouver at 10. We are all over the place. Tullamore Dew, the original, triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. And with that, let's say hello to the people. Let's get things started with our guy, Danny on Long Island. What's up, Danny?
Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that little snowstorm and the football. We had two bags of poop and 2 classics. First comment on the interception. I mean, we all know you got to hold the ball. You have to complete the catch all the way to the ground. Most of the time, the ball pops out, and we say it's incomplete. In this case, it popped out or was torn out and ended up in the defensive guy's arms. So that was the only thing that was unusual. If that ball pops out, everyone looks at the replay and goes, oh, it's an incomplete pass. He didn't catch it all the way to the ground. So to me, there's no controversy whatsoever.
Danny, let me just respond to one thing about that, though. Let me just respond to one thing. There has to be a difference in how we view you landing on your back and the ball popping out versus if you landed on your back with the ball in your hand and then the ball was ripped from your arms. That's precisely what makes it controversial. So, like, if he'd landed on his back, not touching the guy, the ball pops out of his arms and into the arm of a Bronco, I don't think we're having a conversation. I think the argument is that people feel that there's an angle that shows when his butt hits the ground, he clearly is the one with his arms around the ball. That's the controversy.
I'll let Danny finish, but let's extrapolate that out. You say then he survived the ground, but he didn't. He didn't have the ball. It's like, so what do you rule? If you say it's not an interception, if the ball never touched the ground, what, you're going to give him a reception because the ball was torn out of his hands? That wouldn't make any sense either. Like, well, there isn't a fourth option, Peter.
No, the option would be, and I get why in the way it happened in live motion with the defender toppling over him and ending up with the ball in his hands, I see why it's really hard to make this argument. But the argument would be, no, he landed on the ground with the ball in his arms. He's down. And then a defender, once he's down, ripped the ball out of his arms, and now you're saying it's an interception.
But what if I told you the defender's hands were on the ball as well? You go, Ty goes to the runner?
Ty does go to the receiver. Yeah, but if you look at it, it really was much more in Cook's arms than the defender before they rolled over. The pullout came on the rollover.
The words they use, survive the ground. Survive the ground means you hit the ground still having the ball, whether it popped out of your hands, whether it touched the ground, or it ends up in the defender's hands. He didn't survive the ground because the defender was able to rip it from his hands. If he had tugged once, didn't go, tugs a second time, well, then you could say, well, he survived the ground because he didn't get it the first try.
Maybe they need different terminology because in this case, it wasn't as much about surviving the ground as surviving the defender. Either way, Danny, as you can tell, I disagree that it was as clear as you're saying based on this argument. But continue. What else you got from the game, Danny?
Okay, two other things. Two, I have a problem with the first pass interference call. Not when I put them down close about the 15 or 20-yard line. Not that I didn't think it was pass interference, but because we've just watched 7 playoff games and nearly a full eighth where they reverted to the 1975 pass interference rules, including a throw down the sideline where the Buffalo Bills guys clearly had his hand. The Denver guy was holding his hand down, which you see that and you go, oh, pass interference. And that wasn't called. Now, all of a sudden, on the last drive, we're going to call 2 ticky-tack, very close pass interference calls. And last but not least, Peter, you said same old teams. This will be the 60th Super Bowl. Out of the 60 AFC, first they were called the AFL, but for argument's sake, we'll say there's been 60 AFC championship games. This will be the 25th time that game had either a Patriots team or a Bronco team. If you throw in the Steelers and the Chiefs, 4 teams have combined to play in almost 60% of the AFC championship games. Same song, different day.
See?
The Broncos are a sneaky team because they've had runs in three different times now.
Yeah.
No, thank you for the call, Danny. I had the exact same thought as I'm just like, it's always, in some ways, it's always the Broncos. There's Elway era, there's Manning era, now there's Peyton era. It's over and over again. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, just well-run franchises, right? I mean, so you want to reward so it's not, it's not big market, small market, right? It's not, they got a billionaire. Like in baseball, you would explain it by saying, well, he's got an owner who spends a lot of money, or it's a destination. Not that Denver's not a destination, not that New England's not a destination, but still, it's not like, I'm going there because the taxes are better. I'm going there because it's always sunny and it's 85 degrees every day. They're well-run franchises, and you should award well-run franchises. They're not Jimmy Switch in the system.
No, they're good and they know how to win. One game we didn't mention, obviously, it was, Bears-Rams was a great game. And
we haven't even gotten to that.
What sucks, and this again goes against the idea of the script. This goes against the idea of what the league wants, because that throw by Caleb Williams should have been it would be a legendary throw, but it can't be because you lost the game, and you lost the game because you threw a pick when you really didn't have to throw that, and the receiver wasn't running a route right, and you for some reason threw it there anyway. It sucks. That was one of the most unbelievable moments in a playoff where this was
unreal.
Over.
Could that be a top?
It's a legendary throw. We'll never you can't reference that throw. Is there any other play in sports you could think of where it was such like Andy Chavez? Like what do we?
Yes.
It's such a great moment that you can't really ever enjoy because it led to nothing.
But I disagree with you. If you're a Bears fan, you won't talk about it the same way because you lost. But, Don, I think the greatness of the play will still be talked about. You don't think so?
Yeah, but it's not going to live forever. It's Andy Chavez.
Andy Chavez.
Andy Chavez catching Game 7 against the Cardinals. It's one of the greatest catches I've ever seen, and it came in a loss.
Right.
So it's going to be remembered, but matter of fact, I think it's the reverse, Peter. I think it will be remembered in Chicago, especially if Caleb Williams becomes a big-time quarterback, because you can't take away that throw. But history's not going to remember it fondly because they lost the game. But, God, he threw. I'm just expecting it to be incomplete or picked off.
Yeah.
And I was at the bar across the street from the hotel, and just everybody collectively just screamed, couldn't believe it.
Right.
And then in overtime, you're right. They're chipping away. 5 yards, 4 yards,
game,
just chip
man.
away. And then they go for it. And the other thing, we were texting on the thread, the field goal. They were nailing every field goal and extra point pretty much. Like I don't think it was that big. Like, I had to score a touchdown because the elements wouldn't allow you to kick a field goal. Well, a 42-yard field goal won it. They were chipping away, man. They were on their way to winning that game, and then they went for it, and it didn't work out.
I know there are a lot of people who think that it was the route, and I'm not a football analyst to break down what the route was supposed to be. I don't know how you felt, Alan. There was a little part of me that felt after the game tire from Caleb, he was a little bit loosey-goosey, like I'm in the zone right now. I just felt like he did not need to chuck that ball all the way down the field.
You think he went YOLO? Like
there was a little YOLO ball.
Watch me get him with this one. Yeah. Yeah. The problem is that who was the receiver? Was it DJ?
I think it was DJ
Moore, right? Like the fact that he wasn't running the route hard, like because I guess what it was, he wasn't expecting to get the ball. Whatever it is, whatever happened there, you're right. Like, I had two thoughts. The first one was when you watch the replay and they start explaining the route not being run hard. You're like, oh, come on, man. You got to run every route hard. Then the other one is, Caleb, you don't need that. Like, you didn't need that. You didn't need that.
That's
right?
the
Like,
thing.
you had the game. It was there. It was over. Just get yourself down close enough to kick a field goal. That did feel like that's a young quarterback making a throw that in 5 years, he'll never make that throw.
Going into the weekend, guys, what odds would you put on the team that had the ball first in OT goes 3 and out and still wins the game?
Yeah.
What were the odds? You'd have to put it at less than 50%, right?
Yeah, definitely.
What, 30%, 20%?
Definitely.
And they both won.
Yes.
It's nuts. So you know what that ball had all over it, Alan? That was a Jay. I like to call it a Jay Cutler effort. Just you know what?
Yeah.
You know my arm strength. Watch this.
Go get that.
Yeah, 50-50.
I just did it. I just did it a few minutes ago. Let's close the house. Watch this one go for 6. You know, like we don't need a kicker. Ugh.
Let's go to Jason in the Bronx. What's up, Jason?
Hey, what's up, guys? I love the show. You guys are great. Peter, unsanctimonious departure from 97. Loved you in the mornings there.
You're correct.
Don, you are a Segway savant with that Ramsey Mazda
So
Segway.
good.
That was great.
So smooth.
Alan, you're going to get to watch the Knicks do something special this year.
You think so?
So with
Your
that,
lips to God's ears.
oh yeah. With that Cats and the Bills game, I thought that was like a beautiful football play. The refs ended up ruining it for us because of how quickly they were just like, nope, it's not a catch. Like come on. Like, what? You're just going to leave us with that? That's it? You're not even going to, like, really dive into it at all? It was contested. It was perfectly thrown. At the end of the day, it was probably a catch. He went to the ground. He hit the ground, had possession.
That's how I felt.
Wasn't there a
Could it not
throw?
actually be a fumble?
Well, no, it never touched the ground.
It can only be a fumble if the ball touches the ground, correct?
Right, because then it's still an interception. The only argument that I'll accept is that they could have looked at it longer. They did look at it. And by the letter of the law, I believe they got it right. So how long do you have to go to satisfy the public? Like,
they didn't really look at it.
What hurt
They
them?
looked at it once McDermott burned a timeout.
Yeah, that's why he called the timeout. But
He had to
all
call a timeout just to
turnovers
get a
are
look.
reviewable.
What hurts
They
them?
review all scores and turnovers.
What hurts them
So
is
it
that
was looked at.
the audience had the ability to see it over and over and over, and it allowed you more time to nitpick whatever side you were feeling. If you were sympathetic to the Bills, you were finding every excuse to say, wait, that should have been a catch. So the more time it was spent, so they didn't spend as much time on it as everybody else did. And I think, Peter, that's why I agree with you. I do think there's a little bit of a frustration there because all of us were going, wait a second. We need to see this again. Wait a second.
We've
like,
all
what are we
watched
rushing
regular
to?
season games where for 5 minutes in the third quarter of a 21-3 game, they spend 10 minutes trying to get the spot of the ball right.
But
and this, the most critical play of the season, they rush through. That's
but here's what they're telling you. You're right. There's times it takes 3-4 minutes. I see it in hockey all the time. Alan sees it in the NBA. Because there is something that's debatable, and you really need to look at it a bunch of times with a bunch of angles. What they're telling you is they didn't need a bunch of angles.
Well, I'm telling you they're wrong.
In their mind,
it was absolutely debatable.
Peter, he didn't survive the ground.
Well, but the next day they did. So it's debatable because last night I saw a play that was a split second different, and it was called differently.
Well,
How could that not be debatable?
It's a big deal, Peter. That's a big deal. It's a different play. On that play, they didn't need a million angles. Once they determined he didn't survive the ground, they could look at it 400 times. It wouldn't have changed their mind. So they looked at it. All right, didn't survive the ground. It's got to be an interception. Didn't touch the ground. So
then why
there's
do we
no
review?
incompletion.
Why do we review? They knew already we don't need to see a replay?
They knew.
How could they know without seeing it again?
Because he didn't survive the ground, Peter. He didn't survive the ground.
You don't know
I
that,
hate the rule. You do know. Because he
No,
didn't have
you
the ball.
don't.
He hit the ground and lost the ball.
No, he hit the ball. He hit the ground with his butt down, ball in his hands, and it was then ripped out by a defender. That's not surviving the ground. It's surviving the ball being ripped out when the play was over.
In their eyes, that's not surviving.
Well,
I agree with you, Peter. I hate the rule, too.
Then get it together.
But if they believe
need to get it together. You can't change it every single week.
Well, they're not changing it. They believe that he didn't survive the ground.
Wait. When you say change every, how often do you see a play like that?
Well, it's happened 3 times
like that was simultaneous.
The one yesterday was pretty close.
Not simultaneous. It was close. It was definitely close. I'm not denying it. It was close.
The ball was coming out as the knee hit the ground yesterday.
That was simultaneous, though.
And they had, and then I go back and watch the Green Bay Chicago one. This just happened. It happens pretty frequently.
Listen, I don't want to argue because I agree that they should have spent more time on it. That's all I'm saying. I agree with that part
I'm saying
of
it wouldn't have
I just
mattered.
don't think it's that not that cut and dried by the rest of.
I agree with you.
We're
agree it's not
regular
cut and dry.
people. We're lay people on this thing. The experts that understand every rule and letter of the law, they're the ones that can tell you yes or no. But the rest of us who just watch football, you can't possibly have.
Except the words like football move, except the words like football move and surviving the ground, which have come into vogue in the last 7 years, but never existed previously, when it used to simply be if the ball is in the guy's gut and in his arms and his butt hits the ground, it's a catch. But
I don't disagree with you. But what they're saying is if he hits the ground and the ball pops out, is the same as if it got ripped out. He didn't survive the ground. I could argue, you could argue, but if that's the rule, then 400 different angles isn't going to change it. Spending 15 minutes isn't going to change he didn't survive the ground. Would I like to see the rule change? Sure. It goes back to the Megatron catch. It goes back to what happened to the Cowboys. We've seen catches that should be catches that aren't catches. Change the rule. But if that's the rule, then they got it right.
Again, I just don't know how they would know without spending a minute under the hood and actually looking at it. But hey,
agreed.
FanDuel, they know what they're doing, and they're giving all customers a profit boost for the college football championship tonight. It's your last boost of the season. Pick the side you believe in or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boost and go after a boosted payout with everything on the line. Hard to bet against Indiana right now, and FanDuel is the best place to get into the championship action, and when you win, you'll get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/local to get your college playoff profit boost today. 21 and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issues, non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration of max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. More of your calls. We'll keep arguing about this all the way up until 4:30. It's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
More people trust their hearts to New York Presbyterian than any other hospital in New York. It's because New York Presbyterian has the most experienced cardiovascular doctors, treating a full range of heart conditions, from heart failure to valve repair, with the most advanced treatments. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital, based on U.S. News & World Report 2025 to 2026 cardiology, heart, and vascular surgery rankings.
Knicks fans, it's time for basketball, and the action starts on Wednesday at Crompton Ale House with Team ESPN New York and Ultra. Whether you need a pregame spot or you're looking for the right Knicks bar to watch the game versus the Nets, Crompton Ale House is your destination. The party tips off at 7 p.m., and Team ESPN will be giving away ESPN, Ultra, and Knicks prizes. Join fellow Knicks fans on Wednesday at 159 West 26th Street. Cheer on your Knicks, enjoy Ultra draft and bottle specials, and cool prizes all game long at Crompton Ale House.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-568-3344. 800-568-3344. 800-568-3344.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The College Football Playoff National Championship. Let's go! The magical run by the 10th-ranked Miami Hurricanes continues.
There's no bad play, no bad call, no injury that we can't overcome.
When they faced a top-ranked and undefeated Indiana Hoosiers.
All I can say is go IU and
Number 10 Miami versus number 1 Indiana.
Coverage begins tonight at 6:30 on 1050 ESPN and the ESPN New York app.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
Don Hahn and Rosenberg, ESPN New York. Alan Hahn is off to his duties with the New York Knicks. Peter Rosenberg here in New York City, frigid New York City. Don LaGreca is joining us all the way from Calgary, Canada, where he is actually, he says it's a balmy 33 up there, so he's doing pretty well. Don, you're surviving 33. Does it feel like 33 or does it feel like 10?
Now it's up to 38, 39.
Look at you.
But I'm telling you, these people are walking around like with shirt sleeves because I guess they're used to it being really bad. But I shoveled twice on Saturday and Sunday. And now I'm in Calgary thinking I'm going to see a blizzard, and it's a balmy 39 and sunny.
Don't you think it's probably time we stop and give credit to the fact that, like, we always talk about, oh, it's not a real winter. This has been a real winter so far.
No, this has been. I was telling my wife when I was shoveling again, like, I think I shoveled like 3 times in the last 4 years. But now we're getting it back.
No, it's been
not terrible.
It's been cold, and while there haven't been blizzards, it just, you know what it's been like? It hasn't been blizzard, but it's just like all of a sudden it feels much more like an upstate New York or a Chicago where, like, it just casually snows here a lot this winter.
I know. It
has not done literally practically since I moved here in 07.
No, it's crazy, but it's getting back, and we're not even through January, so we still have a few more times where it might snow. But I want to let you know there are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-50 2.5S Select all-wheel drive for $179 for 33 months, or buy with 0.9% APR financing for 72 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SN 379853, MSRP $33,425. Zero security deposit. APR $14.27 per month per $1,000. Financed. Ends 2/26.
I love what you've done there. It's really tremendous stuff.
Thank you.
1-800-919-3776. Let's go back to the phones. I'll start with Dave in the car. What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's up, guys? I want you to hear just my small rant on what I think is a negative in the NFL, and it's going to tie into what you said about Stedman being the quarterback for the Broncos. I personally think Peyton has enough experience, all right, and enough defense, and he's in Mile High. I think if their quarterback plays within the structure of how they practice all week, they will win. Here's what's going to lose that game, and here's where the NFL is losing. You let me know. Caleb Williams does this super off-platform play. It's the greatest play that'll never be remembered. But this is what we've been seeing in the NFL. Josh Allen's been playing off-platform. Same with our man with the Ravens. He's been playing off-platform. All these quarterbacks playing off-platform. What is it getting them without structure? No trips to the Super Bowl. You can say what you want about my man in Kansas City. He's athletic. He's got a cannon. But he's playing within a structure. And another reason why I think the Broncos will win, Drake May is the fourth most sacked quarterback in the NFL. And you know what he's good for? He does a lot of off-platform. If Denver pressures him and makes him go off-platform, the Broncos are going to roll over the Patriots. So my question to you is, why we're stuck now, right? We have these great quarterbacks, but all of them are getting all this money to give us highlight films. And 20 years from now, they'll be like, yeah, all these guys were great. It was watching O.J. Simpson with a football playing quarterback, but they got no Super Bowls because they got no structure. The NFL's created a monster that can't win. Let me know your thoughts.
It's an interesting
great point.
Yeah, it's a very interesting point. After he listen, it took me a minute to recover from him calling Stidham Stedman. I don't even think.
I know it was a bit much.
If you're young and you don't even realize that the only reason people know the name Stedman is because it's Oprah's, life partner, and he just dropped in a Stedman for Stidham is tremendous. But no, it is an interesting point, Don, and maybe that does give Denver a fighting chance next week.
Well, what he's saying is that when you freelance, when you think outside the box, that's always good, right? It's not always good, but it can work out to your advantage. But what does that also create? It creates chaos. It creates mistakes. And when he was talking about that, you know who I thought of? I thought of Brett Favre. Brett Favre is a Hall of Famer. Brett Favre is one of the great quarterbacks of all time. He was also an interception waiting to happen because for every great play that he would pull out of his you-know-what, there'd be a pick six. There'd be an interception. There'd be a drive that stalled. That's why he only won one. The guys that kind of keep it in pocket, all right, they're not spectacular, but they get the job done. That's why this is a coaching league. I want to leave Josh Allen out of that because I think Josh Allen is doing it because he didn't have anything else. They didn't have a ton of talent. But did Caleb Williams maybe get caught up in his own hype by that interception? You can make that case. And
I felt that
he threw
in the moment.
One unbelievable play leads to a play that cost him the game because freelance gives and it takes. Structure seems to always kind of give you the consistent result. Might not be exciting, but it gets the job done.
All right, let's take one more call before the break. Let's go to Cody in San Diego. Hey, Cody.
Hey, Peter. How are you?
Hey, buddy.
So I've got a pretty definitive answer for the incomplete debacle, and I also have a Jets point after. So For the first point, I'm going to refer everyone to the NFL Rulebook, Section 1, Article 3, particularly Note 4. May I read that?
Oh, please. I think I've probably already heard it in the last day, but go ahead.
Sure. If a pass caught simultaneously by two eligible opponents and both players retain it, the ball belongs to the passers. Here is the pertinent part, though. It is not a simultaneous catch if a player gains control first and an opponent subsequently gains joint control. If the ball is muffed after simultaneous touching by two players, all the players of the passing team become eligible to catch the loose ball.
But it's not a simultaneous catch, right? It's a catch. Right. So throw the simultaneous catch out for a second. And I wouldn't say it was muffed. It was pulled out of his hand. That's a case of, did the receiver survive the ground? So what they're looking at, Peter, and this is the semantics of it that drive you crazy. What they're saying is the ball being ripped out of his hands is the equivalent to him dropping the ball. Now, I've got a problem with that. You've got a problem with that because I think there's a difference between dropping the ball and having it taken from you.
That's the issue.
But to the NFL, it is the same thing. He did not survive the ground. That could be a drop, a bobble, a movement in the hand, touching of the ground, or it being ripped from your hands. Don't be surprised that they might revisit this during the offseason. But by the letter of the law, they got it right. That's why I just take exception, Peter, to the how many angles, how long they would have looked at it wouldn't have changed that fact. He didn't survive the ground.
1-800-919-3776. Let's take more on this and everything else in our last segment of a shortened show coming up next. It's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Benjamin Franklin, sir, I've just received news.
Speak.
They're multiplying you.
Multiplying me?
Yes, many times.
Multiple Benjamins?
Shall I stop it?
No.
Multiply your Benjamins with New York Lottery's Extra Multiplier Scratch-Off games. Play for the chance to multiply your winnings up to 100 times. Prizes up to $3 million.
I've won! I've multiplied myself! We won!
Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Life is full of choices, some big, some small. And when you choose an H&R Block Tax Pro, you're choosing the largest network of tax expertise to be in your corner. For when your big ambitions need help with the small details. For when your six figures come from 6 different places. For when your gaming stream becomes your revenue stream. For when your business's year one needs 70 years of tax know-how. At H&R Block, we've seen it all, and we're here to help you make the most out of your money for life outside the box. Get started at hrblock.com.
Do you know what to do if you're stuck on the railroad crossing? Get out of your vehicle. If a train is not approaching, find the blue and white emergency notification system sign on the traffic signs at the crossing. For help, call the number on the sign and give them the crossing number so they know your location and can alert train traffic. Remember, find the blue and white to save your life. For more information, visit oli.org.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Oh, boy. You learn a lot of things during conversations during the break sometimes, Don.
Oh, really?
Yeah, revealing moments all the time, every day. Nothing
who
serious.
Revealed?
Nothing serious. No, there was just something said in the last moment between me and Anthony. It just summed up how different him and I see the world. It was like a world view, and I don't mean politically or socially. I mean more like logistically and time-wise, that him and I actually view the world in different ways.
Your math is off, by the way, but we can talk about that after the show.
My math is off?
Yeah. You said it didn't equate, and I just did the math. I'm like, I think it does.
No, okay.
We'll discuss.
We'll discuss it later.
Bring it up. Why not?
We'll talk about it, Don. It's about 6:30 versus today's 4:30. You know what I'm saying? It's half a dollar one way, 50 cents the other. Is that how the phrase goes? You know what I'm saying. 1-800-919-3776. We've been talking all about the football. We only have 20 minutes left. Don, we're not going to spend much time on the Houston, New England of it all, except to say it was not a good day for the C.J. Stroud narrative. I think that's probably, for me, Don, the biggest takeaway from Houston, New England.
Would you have switched quarterbacks at the half?
Who's their backup?
Was it Mills?
Mills?
He's a backup. I mean, but
no.
You're not getting anything. Because I was having a conversation, because Danica was sitting next to me on the plane. We're watching the game together. And he's like, who's their backup? I was like, Davis Mills. He's like, would you go to him? And I'm like, you know what? I might think about it. He's losing you the game. He's literally losing you the game. Even Troy Aikman said he's throwing and hoping right now. Like, he just doesn't have it. Is there something wrong with his hand? I don't know, but it's not working. And then Danica says, but you don't want to lose him. He's your franchise quarterback. I know, but you have a chance to go to the championship game.
But if you think,
I would have thought about it. I probably wouldn't have done it, Peter, but I definitely would have thought about it.
But here's why you can't. If you fully 100% are committed to him being your guy next year, you cannot bench him in a playoff game. If football just doesn't work that way, Don. It's not like if it was a goaltender, I'd be with you. You bench him, we bring him back next week, it's okay. In football, to do it with your quarterback in such a pivotal moment, I don't know. Listen, D'Amico Ryans was asked.
I hear you.
Did you consider benching C.J. Stroud?
I believe that he could come back out in the second half and flip it. I believe that he could play better, and he did that in the second half. He did play better. We had some positive drives there in the second half, because I believe that he would do that, and he did that.
Did you see, Don, why I was almost offended? We were having one of our extended football conversations in the group chat, and did you understand why I called John Winthrop out for being, as I put it, lazy? For saying, when he said, I'm worried that, Jaden Daniels could be following the C.J. Stroud pattern, and I just don't see any comp there. I'm just not sure that C.J. Stroud is actually a full-on dude yet. I really am not sure.
No, we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. You pushed back a little bit that he has not been that bad over the last couple of years. He hasn't, but he has not been as good as his rookie year. And you wonder about these quarterbacks in the South, Peter. Like, how good are they really? Now, give him credit. He's won a playoff game in all three of those years, right? So it's not like he's been one and done, but it looked just so bad. And you only get so many kicks at the can here to go to a championship game. And look what they'd be having right now, right? A game in Denver against their backup quarterback with a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Now, do I know that Davis Mills would have won them that game? I don't know. He knows better than I do. That's why I've got to rely on Ryan's doing the right thing. But he was losing them the game, Peter. That's why it at least has to be a discussion.
Well, and here's why I push back so much in the comparison to Daniels or anyone else. Dude,
I agree with you.
If you have a defense like that, do you know what Jaden Daniels is doing things with no defense whatsoever. You have a great defense in Houston. The pieces are in place. I understand they were down, obviously, a key offensive piece on Saturday, or yesterday, but man, not a good day. Not a good day for the C.J. Stroud of it all. On the flip side, and again, I am disappointed by the teams we have left. I'm not super compelled by any of these games. It is a fun, moment potentially in terms of watching the overall career of Matt Stafford and just what his legacy could be. As Don, how do you not pick, for me at least, how do you not pick the Rams in a championship game with the amount of experience. With all due respect to Sam Darnold, between Stafford and the weapons that he has, Don, I love the Rams this week. And then you're talking about Stafford getting potentially a second Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, and then that puts him up there, right, with the Mannings and the Bradys, multiple Super Bowl winners, which is a big deal. Young never got a second one. Breeze never got a second one. Favre, Rodgers, it'll really put him up there. That's why this could be a big deal, and I think it's going to happen. He's 37 years old. He's way more experienced than everybody else. And also, you take a look at their performances in Carolina and the game in Chicago. I thought they were compromised because of the weather. They were last year in Philadelphia, and they certainly were in this game, but he's not going to make the mistake. And as much as I love Sam Darnold and the Seahawks to go to the Super Bowl, I think that'd be a tremendous story. Then to see the Rams go back, the experience that he has in the big game how could that not help you? How can that not be a distinct advantage, even on the road, to get a win?
It's absolutely huge. I'm trying to think what is the most compelling thing left, removing that we like Sam because of the New York thing, because nationally no one gives a rat's patoot about that. I guess the most compelling thing, Don, would be the Rams versus the Patriots. I guess so many of us hate the Patriots, hoping they lose, against a really fun Rams offense and kind of we can't call them a dynasty. Obviously, it's only their second, but sort of this stalwart of the NFC. I guess that's the best matchup.
Well, the only matchup we'd have that wouldn't be a repeat would be Rams-Broncos, right? Because Seahawks-Patriots we've seen, Seahawks and the Broncos we've seen a couple. So I guess a Rams-Broncos Super Bowl would be a first.
That is just such a generic.
Is that enough?
Super Bowl.
But I don't know. Is there, even though Belichick's gone, is there something to the Seahawks versus the Patriots? The team where Sam Darnold saw ghosts on national television, now playing them in a Super Bowl. Again, it's not the same team, but it literally is the same team, but technically not because of the fact that no Belichick, no Brady. I got to tell you, listen, it's the Super Bowl. I can't say I'd be overly giddy over any matchup. But Seahawks, Patriots, to me, just because it's Sam and I like him, but I can't say any of them are overly sexy.
Yeah, no, but certainly not sexy. Let's go to Big Dick in Manhattan who wants to talk about Dick wants to talk about Johnson. Here's Richard talking about Ben Johnson.
Don, Peter, Johnson blew it. 3 years ago, Vrabel came to the Meadowlands with Tennessee. Same situation, 17-16, they just scored. He's got Derrick Henry, Jim Brown, on his team, and he goes for one, ties the game. Zach Wilson beats him in overtime. Okay, every coach in the NFL right now should be devising a play that they'll never use, hopefully, in their lifetime. But if it happens, once they have to use it. A 2-point conversion for exactly what happened yesterday. Now, Ben Johnson in his postgame said, I was thinking of it. Ben, you should have been beyond thinking about it. You should have known. First of all, the guy, Caleb Williams made the greatest play in NFL playoff history. The crowd is in a frenzy. You got them on the mat. You have a boxer. You got him against the ropes. You put your foot on his throat right now, and you have a play that you
No. We do not continue. Lower him to the point where he cannot be heard. Lower him to the point that he cannot be heard. It would be insanity to go for it, and I'm going to tell you why. They were down near the goal line and went for it on 4th down and didn't convert. It was tough to move. Take the extra point. You're guaranteed possessions in overtime, people. You're guaranteed possessions in overtime. Even if you give up a touchdown, you're getting the damn ball back.
I'm not arguing that, Peter.
Going for two would be absolute. I said lower till he can't be heard. Did you hear me? To the point that he can't be heard.
I wanted to hear him again.
You cannot, under any circumstances, go for two. You can't.
Insane.
It'd be stupid. It'd be dumb. It'd be colossally dumb to put the game on the line when you're guaranteed possession in overtime, and the possession before they didn't convert at the goal line on 4th down. It would be colossally dumb.
Richard.
Goodbye. No, you don't get the chance to respond. Goodbye.
Richard, can you imagine? First of all, to Don's point, they had just been down there. They didn't have a play to cross the goal line. They got into the end zone by having Caleb Williams run backwards to the 40 and chuck it, okay? They did not have a play to cross the goal line. If they don't get it, their season's over. And to Don's point, you're guaranteed a possession in overtime. And it played out exactly right. They opted to kick, they got the stop, and they got the ball.
No, Peter, it never did it even enter your mind to go for two? Did it even cross your mind?
No,
it didn't mind.
No. Although I will say I got nervous when they set up for that extra point. And you're looking at that kind of snowy field and it's cold, but he banged it through and Richard
I get it, but we were talking on the right. They were nailing all the field goals. It was fun.
They were.
These guys are machines.
They were fun. Let's go to Ray and the Bronx.
The Rams kicker though, a little portly. Maybe kind of had that. He kind of had that Andy Reid and the punt bass and kick vibe to it.
In the preseason, Greg Bowe referred to him as the fat guy.
Well, that's not what that's not traditionally.
Well, that's not nice.
A little Janikowski bod, late career Janikowski bod.
Yes, that's a good call.
Yeah, he got a little portly towards the end. Let's go to Ray in the Bronx. Ray, what's up?
What's up, guys? Speaking to that interception, what was called an interception in the Buffalo game. I'm an attorney, and I've always been kind of like fact intensive. But you lose cases and you win cases on the most minute thing. Like, the facts really do matter. And I think Don laid this out perfectly, man. I think Don is all over it. It's really an issue of possession. And whereas Devontae Adams had clear possession, and then when the knee hit and he was able to make that football move, which is one of the requirements for a catch in that circumstance, right? Cooks' catch was in a different circumstance. So, but I think what gets overlooked here is the refs, man. They got that right in real time. And how many times we kill them for getting things incorrectly, which they do, and rightfully so, right? It's a part of their job. But, to get that in real time, and then to Don's point again, I'm telling you, Don's spot on. Then you don't need to review it going forward. One, it was ruled an interception on the field. So it's presumptive at that point that it's going to stay an interception unless there's clear and convincing evidence, right? Which there wasn't, Peter. That's why we're having so much talk right now, because it was so bang. And depending on who looked at that play may have called it another way. And it's so weird that it still would have been the correct call, right? So it's that close. So the replay wouldn't have done nothing for you, because the play on the call in the field would have stood anyway. And then I
hear you, but you're also you're making a lot of good points, but you are also removing the human element. If they were as sure as you're saying they were, not apparently they were, and Donna said the same thing. Even if you feel there's no purpose at us looking at, we don't live in a vacuum. The whole world is watching. Go under the hood and confidently say, after review, the ruling on the field stands. That to me would be even more impactful than, we're so sure we don't even need to look at it. No, you called it on the field that way, which means it has to be overwhelming to overturn it. And I probably would have agreed, Don, that even though my football instinct said that was a catch, given that it was called that way on the field, yeah, there wouldn't be enough room to overturn it. So I get that. I just think it would have been a better look for everyone to spend 90 seconds saying that's the call.
And I get it from a PR standpoint, but I'm telling you, it wouldn't have changed it. And if you know it's not going to change it, then why are you wasting everybody's time?
Because this is going to be a huge – because it's now a thing that's hanging over the game. And one of the main arguments is, how do you not look at it? That's one of the main arguments, so look at it.
But replay is to reveal what we don't know, right? Did he get both feet in bounds? Was it a knee or was it 2 feet? Did he have possession? Did the puck cross the line? Was the play offside? In that play, they knew he didn't survive the ground. So, but they knew because that was the rule.
Have enough angles.
He didn't survive.
They happened to guess it right, Don. They guessed it right.
Peter, no, they didn't. You don't understand.
They did. It was a complete crapshoot.
But do you know? No, it wasn't. Do you know how I know he didn't survive the ground? Because he didn't have the ball. That's it. Done.
But
he did
that
not
doesn't
survive
solve
the
it.
ground because he didn't have the ball.
In no way does that solve it. It
does.
Except you're wrong. Except it hasn't always worked that way. And in other cases, the guys rolled over with the ball and they said, no, it was a catch. So how can you say in this time when they rolled over with the catch, there's no need for review? They've gotten it wrong before, so why not look at it? It matters. It matters. Sean McDermott lost his job on Monday. Take a minute, for Christ's sake, and look at it.
You're creating a false narrative. They did look at it. All turnovers are reviewable. All they had to do was take the one look. Didn't survive the ground. That's it. You're asking for some kind of grandiose grandstanding. Let's spend 90 seconds so it looks like we're making a bigger deal out of it than we really did. They looked at it. They looked at it in the booth. They saw it. It's a turnover. They have to look at it. And there was no need to go any further because he didn't survive the ground. And they know that because he didn't have the ball.
Don, but you're now playing. We're playing with words. When I say
we're not.
We're
playing with rules.
They literally walked out onto the field as if no play had happened. It was just a punt. They didn't even stop play for 5 seconds. They went to line up. Only when McDermott called the timeout was there a chance to look at it. They didn't think there was anything there. And what I'm saying is, how could that be possible? How could it be possible they'd be that sure on this controversial play?
Is reviewable.
But how many?
Every score, every turnover is reviewable. So they did look at it, Peter, and it didn't take that long for them to figure it out.
So they saw it one time and went, we're good. Meanwhile, they can't get anything right in one review. Every week I see them get things wrong.
But I'm just telling you, if they did it that quickly, you think if they looked at it longer, they were going to change it? So now you're grandstanding. You wanted a grandstand moment for something that was never going to get changed in the first place.
You're calling it grandstanding, and I'm calling it being. I want you to be tactical and careful in the most important moment of our season. I don't see why that's a crazy ask. You're saying there's no world in which the three of them looked at it and go, I don't know. I actually see that it's in his belly and he's holding the ball when he's on the ground, and then it was ripped from his hands. How could they be so sure? We're not going to see it the same way. I can't understand how that would be so sure. Let's get to more of these calls. Adam in Putnam County. What's up, Adam?
Hey, Don, Peter, good afternoon. I'm hoping maybe to unite you both in a common goal here with the hatred of Chris Collinsworth and how he calls a game.
No, I'm a fan.
I don't know. You're a fan?
Yeah, I like him.
Last night, in the Bears game, the Bears have it late third quarter, 3rd and 1 at their own 40. I don't know if you guys remember the play, but Chris Collinsworth says out loud, I guarantee that they will not punt on the next 2 downs. First of all, why would you punt on 3rd down? That's just idiotic. And then what happens? The Bears hand the ball off and they get hit for a loss. And what do? They punt. So talking without, really experiencing, I guess. I know Chris Collinsworth was a great wide receiver, but I think he's losing it, and his hate for New York goes.
Well, I mean, Adam, listen, thank you for the call, Adam, and I think that's a tough moment for him. But as I pointed out to our group chat, I mean, the day before, with under a minute left in the game on the line, Tony Romo said that Buffalo's in 4-down territory. Like, people say dumb things all the time. It's a long game. I'm not going to say that means Chris Collinsworth is losing it.
I didn't hear it. I was at a bar watching it, so they had the volume, but I did not hear it. I'd like to hear exactly what he said, but if that's what he said, then he was wrong. I was never a fan. I always thought he was corny. He's actually grown on me, so I've become a fan. But I thought he was really hokey when he first started. I can't even stomach him doing the Olympics. It's nauseating. But football, I think he's really good.
He's gotten pretty good, and you feel his passion for it. Speaking of passion, you probably have some tonight for the national championship, and FanDuel's giving all customers a profit boost for the college football championship. All right, it's your last boost of the season. Pick the side you believe in or build a parlay that fits the moment, then apply your profit boost and go after a boosted payout with everything on the line. Indiana has a lot of momentum tonight. You could lean that way, and FanDuel is the best place to get into the championship action. And when you win, you'll get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/local to get your college playoff profit boost today. 21 and over, physically present in New York, opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. And Don, I'd be remiss if I didn't give you a little game time. Brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, Don, it's Tully time.
It's Tully time.
The Knicks and the Mavs right after us right here on 880. That's coming up in a few minutes. Rangers Ducks after Dan Grasso on 880 at 9:30. Then you got the College Football Championship, which is airing on 10:50 a.m. starting at 6:30. Nets and the Suns at 7:30. Devils in Calgary, where Don will be on the call, of course. And let's see, the Flames and Islanders No, I just got
Canucks
all
and
mixed up,
Islanders.
didn't I? Sorry. Canucks and Islanders. The Calgary Flames are playing the Devils. The Canucks and the Islanders at 10 o'clock. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. We're not going to get to Mike, Griffin, or Earl. We appreciate you guys. Call us back tomorrow. We will have a full program. Don,
Yes.
enjoy the broadcast today. What's your travel schedule again?
We're off to Edmonton after the game, and I'm not doing the game in Edmonton. It's a TNT vehicle, but I'll be there. And then after that game, we fly right to Vancouver, where I'm going to be from Wednesday to Saturday.
So
Before I go to
tomorrow
Seattle.
it's just a Don LaGreca radio day in Edmonton.
Yes.
If you were worth anything, you would just show up to Yari Curry's house. You know what I mean? Show me.
I should try to knock on his door. Crazy. It was 8:15 this morning. The sun still wasn't up.
Wow. Really?
But the sun will be up at like 9, which is nice.
All right. Hear Don on the call, of course.
Take that in.
Enjoy Don on the call for the Devils. Alan with the Knicks. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Happy MLK Day, everyone.
Hi, I'm John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, the injury firm. You know what's interesting about the words personal injury? The first word is person. And at D'Agostino & Associates, that word means everything. That's because I handpick every person in our firm. From the pleasant professional